Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. We're back with a brand new update video. They're becoming a little bit of a weekly thing, these are. But yeah, we're back with the latest Wolves news over the last week or so. I hope you guys are keeping well and safe. Of course, Wolves travelling to Spurs this weekend. We've got the match preview already out for that one if you want to check it out. And before we kick off as well, our channel partners over at Football Prizes. I've got yet again another Wolves prize up for grabs this week. It is a signed and custom framed Max Kilman football boot. So to get involved in that, enter their prize draw. It is in the link at the top of the video description down below, and you've got until Wednesday evening to get involved in that one. Fantastic prize up for grabs there. A couple of instant win prizes as well, including memorabilia from Diego Costa and Raul Jimenez as well. But yeah, lots of little pieces of news to jump into today, guys. Of course, anything that you want to give your thoughts on, do let me know in the comment section down below. First piece of news is very quickly some team news from Gary O'Neill's press conference today. Hwang Hee-Chan is fit and available for Wolves. You would assume he will start, or Wolves will at least push him to start after the news of Matheus Cunha's injury. There's been a little bit of news on that today. Gary O'Neill very confident that Cunha should still play some part in the season before it finishes. In terms of the Spurs team news, big losses for them. Destiny Udogie and Pedro Porro both injured, which Matt, the Spurs fan, did mention on yesterday's preview as well. They are worth watching. So big news there. Could be a big plus with Hwang. Going to be huge eyes on this game. Obviously with Son and Hwang and the South Korean influence both returning and probably both starting their first games since the Asia Cup. One player that could be involved for Wolves, and it'll be interesting to see if he is Noha Lemina. He has been spotted this afternoon travelling with the first team squad. They're getting the train down to London for the match tomorrow. Noha Lemina is with the squad. Now, although he is travelling, that's not a guarantee, which it doesn't guarantee that he will be in the matchday squad and named in the squad. But this is a big plus for Wolves. Of course, Noha Lemina signed on loan from Paris Saint-Germain, really struggled to break into the setup at Sampdoria for one reason or another in the second division of Italy. But it was said late last week that Noha Lemina is continuing to work on his fitness right now, but he's been really impressing the players and Gary O'Neill during training. So it could be a big plus. Wolves posted quite a little bit of footage of him in training last week, so maybe he'll be in that matchday squad. And just a nice little, maybe, boost for Wolves last 5-10 minutes of a game, a little bit of pace, skill, acceleration, and fingers crossed we sort of find a gem here, because I think the option to buy is around €1 million, which could be an unbelievable piece of business if Noha Lemina can come on and change games for us late on. A really interesting piece of news that we saw earlier this week, and I still can't quite get my head around it, is Tom King, third choice goalkeeper at Wolves. Actually, when he signed, I dropped the exclusive news that he was joining Wolves. Has signed a brand new 3.5-year deal at Wolves. Really unsure and confused by this. Matt Hobbs has sort of bigged Tom King up quite a little bit in the sort of confirmation of this, and sounds like he's quite a big influence behind the scenes, which I can understand and fully appreciate. But the only thing for me is here, why have Wolves given him such a long-term deal, for one? And two, in terms of Tom King, you would hope that he's on a tiny wage if you're giving him such a long-term deal. And for him as a player, he's happy to be sat at third choice. I don't think there's any opportunity of him sitting up to a second choice goalkeeper, unless for whatever reason maybe Jose Sarr moves on in the summer and Dan Bentley is trusted to become number one and Tom King number two, or I really don't understand this. So I am surprised by it. Fair play to Tom King. It'll be very interesting to see what does happen with him in the future. And Wolves obviously do have a plan, but for a third choice goalkeeper to be given a 3.5-year deal, for me is quite surprising. But let's wait and see what Wolves have in store for him in the future anyway. One player that did leave on loan in January was Gerson Mosquera. He went on to move to Spanish club Villarreal on loan. It was reported in the press in Spain this week that Villarreal were reportedly really pushing to actually sign Gerson Mosquera on a permanent deal. They wanted initially to sign him on a straight purchase deal, which Wolves said no to. They then wanted to add an option to buy to the loan deal, and Wolves again said no to that. Wolves rejected both the proposal. They're aware of Mosquera's potential sounds like he's going to be a big plus and a big part possibly of the Wolves squad for the summer going forward. I've seen this before with players. I always compare this one. I might have said it on the podcast a few weeks ago. William Saliba went to Arsenal, wasn't quite ready, had a couple of loan spells out and turned into a great player and arguably one of the best Premier League defenders right now. I'm not saying Mosquera is going to be at that level, but sometimes players do need to go out on loan, find themselves, grow as a player mentally and physically, and then come back into this Premier League environment. I think Villarreal's a really good level for him. He played 90 minutes last weekend. If he can continue to do that now, he'll grow and become, a much better player and be a big boost for Wolves, you would hope, as well. Another player out on loan is Chiquinho. A big, good month for him. Scored a few goals, got some assists, and he was actually named as the Liga Portugal Young Player of the Month for January. Some people sort of raising their eyebrows at this because Chiquinho is 24 now, but a lot of these trophies and awards are normally if you were 23 at the start of the season. So Chiquinho, fair play, he's obviously doing something right at Family Cow at the moment. So fingers crossed, he is another asset. We talk about transfers and Wolves bringing players in, but we have got a lot of quality out on loan at the moment and could really be good squad options. Another few of those players. Fabio Silva scored a couple of goals so far for Rangers, albeit not against unbelievable opposition. Sasha Kalajdzic did score for Eintracht Frankfurt yesterday in the Conference League as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Cunha is going to be a big loss for us. You would have hoped maybe one of the forwards would have stayed, but who knows. And finally, a little piece of news, not entirely Wolves related, but the former Wolves head coach Julen Lopetegui has reportedly turned down an approach from fellow Premier League club Crystal Palace. Palace are set to let Roy Hodgson go. I think they're bringing in the former Eintracht Frankfurt manager actually, but Lopetegui said no to Palace purely down due to timing. And apparently he wants a more ambitious project in which he can start from scratch. I think basically that means Palace haven't got the money that that Lopetegui would require to rebuild, really. So it's weird. Lopetegui's obviously got his heart set on staying in the Premier League. I know he's rejected proposals from Saudi Arabia, like ridiculous proposals from there. So it will be very interesting to see what level does he see himself at. I think West Ham is an obvious one, if David Moyes does go. But I just don't know what level Lopetegui is at, especially if he's turning down approaches from the likes of Palace. Maybe sort of, I don't know, your West Hams, your Villas, but are they going to go for someone of Lopetegui's stature? I don't know. So very interesting to see his next step as an outsider now, looking at his next step in his career. But we'll wait and see. Guys, very quick update on the news anyway. If you obviously have any thoughts on what I've suggested and spoken about today, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Do enjoy your weekend. Hopefully it's 3 points for the Wolves. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video. And I'll catch you all very soon.